Sensational Saturday, my fellow XJ Dubs / apostates. How y'all doing today? It's your boy Hawk, just here with a little talking squawk. And I gotta say, I want to give a huge shout out to all my 9 J-Dub family and friends, you know what I mean, who helped ease my transition from the J-Dubs, from that cult. Because, you know, leaving them behind, like leaving that organization basically means leaving behind all your loved ones, all your family, friends, whatever. Because they're trained to think that if you leave, then you've turned to the dark side and they must shun you and treat you like an outcast. You know, they're taught to have no emotion, no mind, no brain, no spirit, no soul, no nothing. You know what I mean? And that's crazy to me. Even coming up in the organization, when you would see how people would treat this fellowship, family members, friends. You know, I was just like, that just never made no sense whatsoever. And I was always thankful that I had my pop, older brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles that weren't into that shit. And they put me on to some real shit. Shout out to my older brother and cousin for always putting me onto that knowledge about these man-made cults. And how the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons were all funded by the same people. You know what I mean? It makes sense when you check out their style and how they operate. Knocking on people's doors, walking the streets, passing out literature. Like, that all made sense. You know, and from the time I was like 11, 12, my older brother was always schooling me to the cult-like operation of the J-Dub org. Always put me on a game. And the older I got, and he would tell me, he would never try to dissuade me from going to the hall or whatever, but he would always tell me, as I get older and as time goes on, I'm going to see and understand things more and more. And I see that everything he was telling me was all A1. And yeah, as I got older, as time went on, I definitely peeped it. Definitely saw a lot of the red flags. Like, for one stuff that didn't make sense to me was, what's up with the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Like, there's no woman anywhere in that equation. All men. Then the representations of paradise and heaven or whatever, everybody's white, just one color. We have people of different races and nationalities. which means people are going to be different colors in skin tone. Yeah, that just never made any sense. And then coming up as a J-Dub, you're taught not to question anything. And if you question shit, then you were considered being disobedient and displaying apostate-like behavior. But you know, I would ask questions anyway and say stuff didn't make sense. But shit, that's why I was labeled bad association. But you know, having an uncle as an elder in the congregation definitely played a part. And shout out to Unc, you know what I mean, because Unc was always a real one compared to them other nut ass elders. You know, Unc kept them in line. You know what I mean? He saw to it that nobody mistreated me, my mom, or sister for the most part, because we were a single parent J-Dub family, having no pop in the truth. And you know what that means. When you don't have no pop in the truth, that makes you vulnerable even more to the prey of the elders who feel that they can step in and control your life even more since you don't have a father and a quote-unquote truth. You know, but Unc made sure that no, I wasn't going down like that. Because as gullible and simple as my mom was, she would have allowed them elders to abuse her and mistreat her. You know what I mean? She's just simple like that. You know what I mean? And it's sad. Well, you know, Unc was an OG from the streets and an army vet. You know, and them uncles, he had those other elders shook. You know, and it eventually got to the point where they all turned against him and forced him to step down. You know, but this was later on down the line, whatever. But yeah, not having a pop and the truth where I know personally how that affected some, it made me know, never mind. Like, I was relieved not to have a pop that was a J-Dub. That's how I got my taste of the holidays and birthdays and, you know, other shit that J-Dubs didn't want the flock to be a part of. You know what I mean? Because of my pop, I got to experience, you know what I mean, Christmases and Thanksgivings, being around the family for holiday cookouts and all of that. No matter how much my mom tried not to make it happen, even trying to get the elders involved, but nah. Like, that wasn't going to work with the HAWKE'S family. And that's why, like I said, say again, I was relieved, thankful to have that non-J-Dub support system. You know what I mean? That's another reason why my mom talked about that side of the family so bad too. Like, she would talk about them so bad that you would think that they was really a horrible family, the way she would dog them while putting hers on a pedestal. You know what I mean? I wonder why. Yeah, because y'all all are part of the same cult and believe in the same nonsense. And she was also mad because I was tighter with my non-J-Dub HAWKE'S family than I was with her family, even though we were real close. But you know, and my J-Dub homies used to try to tease me or clown me about not having a pop and the truth. You know, they would clown me. They definitely, you know what I mean, would try to clown me about not having a pop in the truth. And I would just laugh at them. I'm like, dog, I'm not fazed by that. Not at all. Yeah, but it didn't faze me. I'm like, dog, I don't care. You're not hurting my feelings with that. But you know, my one homie would always take it too far and say stupid shit like, oh, my pop was gonna die at Armageddon, and my dad's better than your dad because my dad's a spiritually appointed servant of Jehovah. And when he said that, I punched him dead in his mouth. And I'll never forget it. It was the day before the 3-day district convention, 2001. It was the day before that. I punched him dead in his mouth when he said that. And because he had said it a couple times before, but not as harshly. He would just say shit like, you need to get your pop to dedicate his life to Jehovah before it's too late. And I would always like laugh it off or whatever. But then, you know what I mean, he would just keep saying shit, and they got to the point when he said that, I just hauled off and sucker punched him. And I told him, I said, you can run and tell your bitch ass pop or these elders all you want, because you don't want that smoke. And all that's another story for another time, along with his Mr. Potato Head ass pop eventually being not only disfellowship, but getting locked up and serving time for all the fraud and then a Ponzi scheming that his Wendy's hamburger patty hairline head having ass pop was into. But that's like a whole nother video. This video was a salute to my non-Jehovah's Witness family, who was the reason behind, not the reason behind, but that influenced my knowledge from them, influenced my rebellion and refusing to kiss the elders' ass and worship the ground they walk on and being a model witness. Now, I was none of that. And that's because of those gems I got from my family. And knowing that no matter what, I would always have them there, whether I was still going to the Kingdom Hall or not. My J-Dub family always knew that it was just the era with them. You know what I mean? As much as I loved them and as much fun that we had under, you know what I mean, J-Dub guidelines, whatever. You know what I mean? Even though it was a little playing outside the offense there between my cousin and some of my homies, but you know what I mean? Nothing really to go, you know what I mean? But anyway, I always knew it was just the era with them. Like, you know what I mean? My HAWKE'S fam, you know what I mean? The Queen Hawk, all my HAWK'S nest. I know that's a dynasty. Eternity, infinity. Hawk Nation. You know what I mean? So shout out to HAWKE'S Nation this was just a little short talking squawk and Saturday story time with your boy Hawk. You know, I had lunch with, speaking of my non-J-Dub family, I had lunch with my pop and my older brothers earlier. You know, we usually get together a few times a month. You know what I mean? Go out to lunch. Sometimes we'll get together for a ball game. You know what I mean? That's what we do. You know what I mean? Nobody even makes mention of when I used to be J-Dub or whatever, because it's like, it was just an error. My brother even told me, he was like, bro, I knew you wasn't going to be in that forever. You know what I mean? I knew once you got old enough, you was going to branch off and do your own thing. You know? And I'll be like in the groups, like on the different ex-J-Dub forums, and I see that I don't have it nearly as rough as some. You know what I mean? Shout out to those that didn't have that non-Jehovah's Witness family support system. You know, I really salute them. They're the real strong ones, because, you know what I mean, for somebody like me, not saying it was the easiest decision in the world, but I knew I had a support system to fall back on. So you know what I mean, leaving wasn't as tough as it is on some that say they're going out into a world full of strangers that they don't even know. And you're leaving everybody behind. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to completely start from scratch. And I also want to give a shout out to those who managed to leave and managed to get people and turn it over to the quote unquote dark side. In reality, waking up to the truth. I want to really give those people a shout out, because that's a milestone. That's a milestone, you know what I mean, that you should be proud of. You know what I mean? I've been blessed to be able to wake up a few of my old J-Dub friends and associates. You know what I mean? Sadly, no actual family members, but I've gotten a few friends to wake up and realize, like, hey, you know what I mean, this isn't it. So let me, you know what I mean, finally awaken to this. And for them, it wasn't easy either. You know what I mean? And I had one homie, he's still kind of skeptical and fearing that he made a mistake. I said, dog, that indoctrination is real. You know what I mean? And if you're not up on shit, it'll have you thinking like, damn, did I ever make a mistake? Or did I make a mistake by leaving? And I'm still waiting to hear from my one J-Dub homie, the one who was the kind of the subject of my last video. I still haven't heard back from him, so I don't know what time he's on. You know, he's the one that reached out to me, and I told him, I said, let's set up a time where we could chat and catch up. I haven't heard nothing back. So I said again, I'll keep y'all posted on that. But I've managed to get a few homies to leave. You know, shout out to my man GG. I ain't gonna put his old government out there, but everybody in Winfield know him as GG. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. You know what I mean? He's helping to revitalize our Winfield neighborhood where we were born and raised, grew up. So, you know what I mean? I gotta reach out to him and see how he's been doing. But, you know, for what I see on Facebook, he's really doing his thing. And I'm proud of him because he was the first one that I got to leave the J-Dubs back in 2009, shortly after I bounced. You know what I mean? That was a real feel-good moment. And then a few months after that, I got my old head Willie. I got him to leave, and now he's doing his thing at a security firm. You know what I mean? He's doing dog breeding and all that. So I can't wait till he gets some German Shepherd Husky puppies. Because I already told him that's what I'm waiting for. I'm going to get 2 of them from puppies. Name them Champion G's. After my queen's grandparents / parents who raised her up. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to my old head Willie and my boy Gigi. You know what I mean? I'm proud of y'all doing y'all thing out here and not letting that indoctrination keep y'all from awakening to the real truth and leading y'all lives. Anyway, I'm gonna get back at y'all a little later on with some more talking Squawk, J-Dub, story timing. Hawk out.